Brazil nearly eradicated hunger in 2014, but due to neoliberal austerity policies and the government's failed response to the COVID-19 pandemic, it's returned and is at its highest level in decades. In Sao Paulo, a working-class social movement held 14 different protests against rising food insecurity this Tuesday. Our correspondent Brian Mir reports.
On Tuesday in São Paulo, the Central de Movimentos Populares, one of Brazil's largest working-class social movements, held 14 different protests against the return of hunger to Brazil, caused by 5 years of disastrous neoliberal austerity reforms. It started off in front of the Brazilian Stock Exchange.
At this moment, over 20 million people are experiencing hunger in Brazil. This is statistical data, but we know there are a lot more, because there are heads of families out there who don't have the courage to admit that they are going hungry. They don't have the courage to admit that they don't even have bread at home because they are unemployed.
Brazil suffered from decades of famine until policies initiated by the Lula administration, including the Zero Hunger program, led to the UN removing it from the World Hunger Map for the first time in 2014. After the 2016 coup, the programs were systematically dismantled, and in 2021 the UN put Brazil back on its hunger map.
It is absurd that Brazil is the world's third largest food producer and people are fighting for bones and for chicken carcasses to eat, because that is all that is left for the workers these days.
Protesters made it clear that they blame far-right President Jair Bolsonaro for the hunger crisis and that his ouster is fundamental for resolving it. But they also connect the crisis to the systematic dismantling of social policies and their effect on the quality of life for the working class.
We're protesting against all of the dismantling of social programs by the federal, state and municipal government, which have massacred the people here in Heliópolis, the largest favela in Sao Paulo, and we are going to stop.
Remembering the wave of protests against famine that started in the 1970s in Brazil and helped bring down the military dictatorship, protesters say they are just getting started and there will be more and larger actions in 2022. Brian Mir,